It's time for another scary story. This story takes place at my grandma's house, specifically in Maryvale area in Phoenix, Arizona. So this house has a lot of scary stories, but let me tell you the few scary stories that are very similar to each other that happened throughout the years. So there was this one specific time one of my grandma's sisters was living with her at the time, and she would get home around 2 a.m. in the morning from work. When she got home from work, she stated that she heard knocking coming from the glass sliding doors to the backyard. As she got closer, she said that she saw that it was a little boy knocking on the door. He was looking into the glass sliding doors and knocking at the same time. She stated that she turned on the lights to get a better view of the kid, but she said when she turned on the lights, he wasn't there anymore. And that she went to the backyard, and when she went back there was nobody. It was empty, nobody was out there, so she just left back inside. That is so creepy, right? Wait, it gets creepier. This one time, my uncle, which is my dad's brother, was living with my grandma at the time. He stated that he was in his room with the door open, laying in his bed, so he had a view of the hallway from his bed since his door was open, you know. He stated that he saw a little boy peek into his room and just run back to the hallway towards the living room. He assumed it was me and my siblings with my parents for a surprise visit, like we always did. We always went for surprise visits to go see them. He was wrong. He got up after he saw the boy running towards the living room, and he said that when he checked the whole house, there was nobody there. He said that he checked the doors, they were all locked. He checked the windows, they were all shut, closed, and locked as well. He right away got creeped out. He ended up waiting in the front yard for my grandma to get home because he was that scared. Wait, there's more. There was this one specific time my great-grandparents were visiting from Mexico, and they always stayed with my grandma. My grandma said that late at night, my great-grandpa woke up yelling with pain. She obviously ran to him and said, "What is going on? What is wrong?" My great-grandpa told her that there was a little boy sitting on his leg and that it was hurting to get him off. My grandpa insisted on her getting that boy that was not even on his leg off of him. Guys, my grandma said she was so scared because there was nobody on his leg. She was so creeped out. There was this other time my grandma had her brother and his wife visiting her, and they had a young boy that was around 4 years old at the time. She said that that young boy interrupted their grown-up conversations and insisted on her to follow him to the hallway because he said that there was a little boy who wanted to talk to her. That boy was asking for Sylvia, which was my grandma. So my grandma said that the little 4-year-old pulled her by her hand and pulled her to the hallway and said, "He wants to talk to you. He's right there." My grandma said there was nobody there, obviously, and she was so creeped out because this isn't the first time she has heard of this little boy in her house. She told him, "There's nobody there." Like, "No, there's nobody there, mijo." Like, she said that he started crying, saying, "Yes, he is. He's right there. He wants to talk to you. Talk to him." One creepy thing about her house that always happens also is it's almost as if a little kid is messing with you. For instance, my uncle, my dad, and a lot of other family members that have stayed at my grandma's, because a lot of people actually have lived with her because she always invited people kindly, like, "You guys can live with me," when they needed somewhere to stay. Have stated that in the middle of the night they get the blankets pulled off of them, almost as if a kid's playing with them. Things end up going missing, and you literally find them in places you would have never thought you would find them. In other words, places you for sure know you did not put the stuff that went missing at. So those are the stories about my grandma's house. Let me know if this was a creepy story or not.
Scary story time on how I believe my hotel room is like semi-haunted. Let me stop. This is my favorite glue ever. Okay, y'all, get your money's worth and what? Let it drain. I hate to say it like this, but I believe I brought them here, y'all. I believe I personally brought them here. So it all started at this lake that I went to. The first time that I had gotten in the lake, I didn't feel anything. I didn't have a weird feeling. And then the second time I got into the lake, I had the weirdest feeling. Like, I can't tell you, but it was so weird. And I was like, you know what, I want to get out this lake. Like, it's not a good feeling. So then I ended up going to the beach. Oh, this activates like almost instantly. But I ended up going to the beach, right? And I'm not gonna say I had the same feeling at the beach, but it was like semi the same, right? The salt water was beating me up. I'm talking about 1, 2, 3 uppercut, okay? And I look like this because I'm filming a bedrock video on YouTube, Anne-Marie TV 2823. So yeah, the salt water was beating on my eyes. I'm like, okay, like it's time for me to go. Like I don't even want to be in this water no more. So then on the way back, I ended up falling asleep. And when I fell asleep, I had a dream of like this man drowning. It was like I was trying to help him, but I couldn't help him. Like I couldn't do anything about it. And I promise y'all this is real. Like I'm not making this up. I think I put too much activator, but yeah. So I had a dream about a man like you know, drowning. And then like I had woken up and I didn't even know how to react. Like I didn't scream when I woke up. I was just like staring off into the distance because I was like, what did I just like, you know, see? So I'm just thinking it's me because whenever I get into a body of water, I'm always thinking like the worst situations because of anxiety. Oh my God. Because of anxiety, right? So I'm thinking the worst already. And please open nails, don't film me. Okay, so I'm like, okay, like this is weird, but whatever. I had brushed it off. So I make it back home, and about like I said, about like a day later or whatever, I ended up having a dream again. But this time this dream took place in the nighttime. So the dream goes like this. There was 3 men and I witnessed them all like drown. Like I witnessed them all drown, and they were like not looking. I'm getting goosebumps. They were like looking at me without looking at me, and it was like I was trying to help them, but I could not help them. So I was like, this is so weird. And mind you, they were drowning at the places that I had been. So they drowned at the lake. One of them drowned at the lake. No, 2 of them drowned at the lake, and then the other one drowned at the beach. So I had searched up, like when I had woke up, I had got the weirdest feeling. So something had told me like, go search up like how many people had like unalived in this lake. Yeah, goosebumps. I literally searched up like how they drowned and everything or whatever, and I literally read about like the news article about how 2 people had drowned, more than 2, but like the 2 specific people that I had a dream about, they had drowned in the said lake. Hey, so I explained the timeline insane, so let me try to like re-explain so it can make more sense. The first time that I had went to the lake, I had a grand time. It was really fun. I had no feeling of uncomfortableness. The second time I went to the lake was like 2 to 3 days later, and that's when I got in. It felt super weird. I felt super uneasy, and then on the way back to the room, so leaving the lake, on the way back to the room, that's where I had that dream of the man drowning when I was sleeping in the car. And then 3 days later, we had went to the beach. Okay, you still with me? We went to the beach, and then like that night I had a dream about the men again drowning. And then when I had woke up from that dream, I searched it up. Yeah, I'm sorry. And then one of the men had drowned in the ocean. Yeah, and I was so spooked, and I literally just like went under the covers, and I was so scared. Honestly, I have to add my arch nemesis because this slime is not loosening up. So we're adding instant snow. Yeah. I wish that it just ended there and that was the end of it, and yeah, no. Like I said, it starts with the freaking dreams. So after I had those dreams or whatever, like before I had even told anyone about the dream, the very next day my family said that they were like seeing people in like the room, and I was like what type of people? And they were like men, like they were seeing like 2 men, like shadows of men, like they don't know what it's about, but they kept seeing men. I was like, what the crap? Like, y'all, at this point, I'm getting goosebumps, but I don't want to tell them because it's like, maybe it's my fault that they're here or whatever. And the very last thing of it, the radio turns on at the, out of nowhere. It just flickers on in the middle of the night, and it spooked the crap out of me. And so the next day I had told my family, I was like, I had this dream about these men, and they were like, so you're the one who brought them here. So ever since I had those dreams, I haven't seen them, but I'm not gonna say I haven't, but I've seen maybe somewhat of a shadow, but I can't even tell you if it's just my imagination, but my family has seen them for sure. So yeah, y'all, the slime is loosening up a bit. I just wanted to loosen up. I think I put too much activator. I even added more glue and it just doesn't want to work. I'm gonna get this slime to loosen up. But something that I cannot take accountability for, this is like instant snow, is the one thing that I have seen is a silhouette of a little girl. Like, that's something that I have seen. It's like she wants to play, but like, I'm scared. Y'all, I have not learned my lesson with cloud slime. I don't think I ever will learn my lesson. Like, this stuff is so freaking messy, and I continue to do it. So I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what that means, because I've seen that and I didn't have no idea. And y'all, I wish I was lying, but I wasn't. Like, I'm not lying. I would not lie about something like this. It freaked me the crap out when I had first seen it. Yeah, I'm trying to activate this, y'all. But yeah, what do y'all think of it? I'm gonna activate this and then I'm gonna come back to y'all, or reactivate this and then I'm gonna come back to y'all, because this is just too messy. I think I'm actually successfully making cloud slime. And I wasn't even intending to make cloud slime this time, and the slime smells like amazing, but I somehow, some way, I think adding the glue like helped like mix everything together. Okay, y'all, look, I think I successfully did it. I think I did. I successfully like finally made cloud slime, because I don't think my last video, I don't think that was successful. Like, I don't think that was successful enough. All right, y'all, I actually accomplished making cloud slime. I cannot believe it, but I did. Period. Go check out my YouTube channel. I just hit 5,000 subscribers.
Can we show them the older homestead?
Yeah, let's go. As you know.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Was that you?
Yeah, that's on either side.
They went to both.
Yeah.
Imagine growing up and being warned about loup-garous just to find out that your mom is one. Scary story time. And this one's going to be kind of short, so it's all going to be in one part. I know y'all don't like to be waiting for other parts. But you know, your girl got to build tension. Anyways, this girl, she's Haitian. And it was pretty obvious growing up that, you know, her family was into voodoo, including her mom. But she never thought that her mom, her actual mom, was a whole loup-garous. Speaking of loup-garous, there was recently a loup-garous that was caught on camera, and I have the video. So let me know if y'all want to see that. Actually, I'm still gonna post it anyway, but just get ready for that. This loup-garous wasn't like a loup-garous that shapeshifts. It was a loup-garous that like actually came as they were, but it shows you how the like how he worked, like the ritual and everything. Like, he stole somebody's bait. Anyway, y'all gonna see it when I post it. Anyway, so growing up, like I said, she knew that her family was into voodoo. It wasn't until she started to notice that her mom would be gone at night. Now, she didn't really know what the reason was, but she just knew her mom was gone and grandma was watching her. And so one time she was at school, she was playing with this girl, like one of her friends from class. And then while she was playing with this girl, this other little girl came to the girl, whispered something in her ear, and all of a sudden the girl didn't want to play with her anymore. And this went on for like a week where nobody wanted to play with her. And so she was like, what did I do? Like, why doesn't anybody want to play with me? And so she goes to confront the girl about it, and the girl tells her, yeah, your mom is a loup-garous, and I need to stay away from you before she takes me too. And she's like, what do you mean, take you too? So, a little backstory. There was another little boy that was in their class with them, and he was sick, and he hadn't been coming to school for like the past week or so. But she didn't really think anything of it, because she was a kid, and you know, he's sick. That's a normal thing that happens when you're sick. But come to find out, that little boy is sick because her mom mangé that little boy. Now, manger translates to eat. So her mom ate that little boy. Not literally, but that's just the expression that Haitians used when a loup-garous got to a kid or somebody. And so that was the real reason why that little boy was sick. And of course, at first, she didn't believe it. She's like, my mom would never. But it also got her thinking as a child. Her mom has a room that she is not allowed to go into. Like, that room is locked. And every day her mom reminds her never to go in that room. And she knew better not to go in that room. And so she went home and she told her mom, like, Mommy, nobody wants to play with me because they said you're a loup-garous and what mange tout petit moun, which means like you're eating all the kids around. And so she was like, oh, really? Is that what they told you? And who exactly told you that? She was like, one of my friends from school. And her mom goes, yeah, but who exactly told you that? And so for some reason, she said that at that moment, she didn't want to say any names just in case. But she did want to investigate to see if it's true, because she can tell when her mom is lying, and she could tell that at that moment, her mom was indeed lying. And so she went to her grandma about it, which is her mom's mom, which didn't make any sense because where do you think she learned it from? And she told her grandma that, I want to investigate. I want to know if it's true. I want to go in that room. Grandma was like, you will absolutely not go in that room. Listen to your mother and do not go to that room. And grandma sat her down and explained to her that that's her mom's religion. That's what she does. And that's also going to be her religion. When she gets old enough, they're going to teach her about it. But she knew that she didn't want to be a part of it. So knowing what she knows now, like she grew up knowing her mom was a lugao, knowing her grandma was a lugao, but she also knew that she didn't want any part of it. And as she got older, they did try to teach her about it, but she wasn't really interested. And eventually when she grew up, she just kind of like distanced herself from them. Oh, and it actually turned out to be true that her mom did manja that little boy. She was younger, she wasn't sure, but when she got older, she ended up finding out that, yeah, her mom did. And that was like one of the main reasons why that made her like, no, like I don't want to be in a part of this. So yeah, maybe check on your own family, because whole time they might be lugaus and you don't even know. Anyways, like I said, this was a very short story because she just gave me the story like quickly. It was one of my followers that I've met in person, and she was so excited to tell me her story, even though it was like I had no time and she really wanted me to post it, so here it is. I also just posted some new pictures on Instagram, so make sure y'all go and spam my pictures, spam my comments. Like, y'all can't tell me I'm not eating the girls up. I'm eating the girls up, yeah? So yeah, go follow me on Instagram, DM me your story so I can tell your story on here, and go comment on my new picture. I have a snack, so you know what that means. Sorry that I haven't been posting too much. I just honestly feel so burnt out right now. And I've been trying not to take breaks on social media because I done took so many, but I just had to take a little tiny one. I try to avoid breaks because literally the life that you want to be is right across from consistency, and I'm trying to stay consistent, but it's hard sometimes. Anyways, to the story. So I'm gonna show you guys something, right? This is a ring, but if you look at it, it's like a dragon ring with red eyes. So my little brother came home one day with this ring, and he told me that his friend gave this to him. And when he showed me this ring, I remember this story that someone told me. I had to explain to him that things like this, you cannot accept from everybody. Even if it's harmless, like this one, completely harmless, right? However, the significance behind it may not be harmless. So there's this guy, let's name him Daryl. Daryl was walking his dog one time in his very quiet neighborhood, and he noticed there was a garage sale, so he's like, oh, let me go look and see what they got. As he's looking, he sees this really cool ring. There was this animal on the ring. He couldn't really describe it, but he found it really cool. So he's like, hey, how much does this ring cost? The garage sale lady goes, well, it's free if you want it. And Daryl's like, really? And the lady goes, better in your hands than mine. And Daryl didn't really think too much about that. He just like, okay, sure, I guess. So he took it and he immediately put it on his finger to see if it would fit. And it does. He also buys a couple of more things and then he goes home. He goes home, everything seems normal. When it's time for him to go to bed, he takes off the ring and he puts it on his dresser and he goes to bed. For some reason that night, he just kept tossing and turning and tossing and turning. But that's not such a bad thing because everybody has those type of nights. But throughout all the tossing and turning, he felt like someone was with him. There was some kind of presence with him. Again, he's like brushing it off that like he's just not having a good night. So a couple of days pass and he's still wearing the ring like normal, but weird things started happening by his house. Like he could have sworn he keeps seeing things move from his peripheral. Sometimes he feels like doors were closing by themselves, but he never made the connection that it could be the ring. And so the weekend comes and he goes to hang out with his friends. And all his friends seem to think that he looks different. According to them, his eyes seem a little more gold than usual. It has some kind of hint of gold to it. Now, when he heard this, he's like, what? What are y'all talking about? They can't really pinpoint it, but there's something about his face. It's like it's changing. So he just brushes it off like, haha, you guys are very funny. Y'all just drunk. And he goes on about the night and he goes home. About another week later, he was looking at himself in the mirror and he started noticing the changes. His physical features were changing. Not only that, but he also started having like nightmares. They're nightmares, but they feel like memories. They don't feel like nightmares. Again, he still hasn't made the connection. And it started to happen like every single night. He was having nightmares every single night. And he's like, yo, what's going on? And at this point, there's active activity going on at his house. He's still actively wearing that ring. So one day it's time for him to go to bed, right? And he does his, normal routine. He tries to take the ring off, but it won't come off. It doesn't matter how hard he tries to get the ring off. It just won't come off. The thing about it is, it's not tight on his finger. It just won't come off. He can't get it off. He tried to get his friends to try and get it off. Nobody can get it off. So that's when red flags started to raise in his head. And he started to think, like, when did this start happening? And it clicked. It started happening after the garage sale, after he started wearing that ring. His life was perfectly normal before, but now he's having nightmares. He's looking different, and now the ring won't come off. And then he thought about what the lady said to him when he was getting that ring from the garage sale. So he goes back to the lady's house to get a little more information, just to, like, I guess, prove to himself that he's not crazy. So he goes and he knocks on the door, and the same lady opens the door. And the moment the lady sees him, it's like she knew. It's like she expected a visit from him. And the first thing that she says to him is, I don't want the ring back. I don't want the ring back. I already gave it to you. It's yours. So the guy is like, why would you bring up the ring? So you know something is wrong with this. And the lady goes, I already told you. It's your worry now. And she closes the door and goes back inside.
Story time on the time I found out my sister, who I have tatted on me, was unalived. So one day, she had stopped texting me back and picking up my phone calls. And I'm like, this is nothing like her. Like, we talk every second of every day of every. I tell my husband something got to be wrong because she's not picking up the phone. And it was like 12 p.m. So we ended up leaving the house, y'all. He rushed me over to my sister's house. She literally stayed 2 minutes away from me. I get over there. I see... Well, I didn't see, but I heard a lot of sirens, right? They were right in front of my sister's building. So when we pulled up, I yelled out at the police. I'm like, what's going on, girl? They was like, who the hell are you? Like, what? And I'm like, that's my sister. I said her name. I said, my sister lives in this building. What's going on? They was like, please pull over. We're going to talk to you. Like, just pull over to the side. We about to talk to you. So I'm like, what the hell? I literally said, I kid you not. My exact words were, why is there so many police out here? It's like they acting like it's a murder or something, right? I waited out there for like an hour. I was not about to leave before, seeing my sister or whatever. As I'm waiting, I had to use the bathroom. And I asked Babe to walk me to, like, the front office to use the bathroom. I walk into the front office. I see my sister's kids, my nephews, right? What are y'all doing here? Mind you, in my mind, I'm still not registering that something has happened. Like, I'm still just waiting to go up to my sister. I'm thinking the police was there for, like, a whole nother apartment. All the way up until I saw my nephew in the office. I'm like, okay. I'm like, where's your mom? What's going on? Like, where's your mom? And he had told me what happened. So I'm like, what? Me and my husband leave out the office with my nephew. I'm walking to the car, right? They snatch my nephew. They want to take him, question him, whatever. One of the detectives come up to me and they're like, Miss Carriel, like, well, they said my last name, but they're like, we got to tell you something. I'm like, tell me what? Like, what? It is still not registering to me. Like, I'm still, like, so detached or whatever. So the detective come up to me. He's like, your sister Portia, she didn't make it. I dropped down to my knees. I hit that concrete so hard and I was just like in pieces. I couldn't even focus anymore. So I ended up calling my mom and telling her what happened. My husband he's so amazing. He was there for me every step of the way. But I ended up calling my mom. We ended up getting in the car. At that point, now that I know what I know, it's time to leave. My husband go and get us something to eat, but I did not have an appetite for like a week. I'm like, there's no way. My sister is gone. Are you crazy? Are you stupid? Like, what do you mean my sister gone? Y'all, I went home and I started calling her phone again. When she wasn't picking up my phone calls and texting me back, the reason that made me super, like uneasy was the fact that her messages started saying sent as text message. It wasn't saying iMessage no more. So I was like, that's what made me rush over to her house. Just to find out my sister, man, I gotta say that was one of the hardest days ever that I ever went through. I've had some hard days. Like, I've lost a lot of people. It's just like to lose someone that you
talk to every single freaking day. Like every flipping day, we're on the phone. Every second, every night. That happened in 2024, and I am still in pieces about it. I mean, literally, I got her whole face tatted on my arm, and it's just like, girl, I can't believe you're not with me no more. Like, y'all. But yeah, I couldn't eat for a week, and still to this day, it affects me really, really bad.
Take a close look at this woman. I first saw her on TikTok. Her name is Naomi, and she lives in Colorado. Everything looks normal. A happy marriage, quiet routines, church visits, and daily videos with her husband. But the more people watch, the more something feels off. Because she never takes off her mask. Not at home, not outside, not even during relaxed moments when most people would forget about the camera. Her husband acts completely comfortable, like this is just part of their normal life. He laughs with her, talks with her, and never explains why the mask is always there. There are no old photos, no past records, and no trace of who she was before these videos started. It is like she suddenly appeared already wearing that mask and stepped into a life that was waiting for her. Some viewers also noticed small differences in her voice across clips and the way people around her avoid asking questions. Imagine seeing someone every single day, yet never truly knowing what they really look like. At some point, you start wondering if the mask is just hiding a face or hiding something much harder to explain.
Hey bestie, I'm glad I caught you because I have a story time for you. So go get your snack. What kind of snacks are we gonna have today? And don't say nothing about my lashes because if you do, no more story time. Exactly, I didn't think so. For the sake of the story, let's call this lady Mariana. She sent me the story, and at this point, I feel like whenever I get stories like this, I'm gonna tell y'all. Anyways, Mariana has been watching me for over a year on TikTok because she too was a victim of witchcraft. She said this all started in 2022 when she started to hear voices in her head. At first, she thought she was just losing her mind because everyone around her kind of thought that too. Her family, friends, everybody. They even hospitalized her under a 302. They put her on medication because the doctors thought she was having like a schizophrenic attack. Not attack, but episode due to her trauma. So she basically like tried everything, but deep down she knew, like she felt that this was something that wasn't normal. No medication worked, no psychiatrist was working. She got to a point where she was like super desperate, so she ended up going to a psychic. And the psychic ended up telling her that this boy she used to talk to, that boy's mom and sister were jealous of her, and they ended up doing some work on her spiritually. So the psychic basically told her to like stay away from them and offered her a spiritual cleansing bath. Like I said to you before, at this point, like Mariana was desperate. So she's like, yes, anything that's going to help me right now, yes, I'll take it. She ended up paying $32,000 for that damn spiritual bath. That's how bad she wanted some relief. Now, I don't want to say dollars. It could be 32,000, whatever it is in her, language. Oh my God. In her currency. Anyway, so she ended up paying that much money for the bath, and she did the bath and fully expecting to recover. But just like before, it didn't work. Eventually, she ended up cutting that psychic off because it's like, I'm paying this much money and nothing's happening. But when she cut the psychic off, that's when things started to really get dark. Because then that psychic started to send her spiritual attacks over some money because she was basically paying and nothing was happening, nothing was changing. One night she was watching TV and the TV just turned off all by itself. But it wasn't even just the TV. The energy of the whole room was so off. But when things like this would happen, she would like ignore her intuition because she's like overthinking it. She was also so desperate for help, like I said before. We're going to fast forward now to 2023. She decided to just let it go and just like meet with her faith and stop searching. She ended up picking up a book called Renew My Heart. From that book, she heard the Holy Spirit for the first time, clearly. And this voice didn't degrade her like the usual voices do. It felt peaceful. But at the same time, she was still dealing with like very toxic situations. She was dating her old high school boyfriend, and that boy was so toxic, it was putting her in like continuous emotional spirals. And she actually struggled to walk away from him until about May 2024. She finally said like enough is enough, and she just like cut him off and decided to focus on herself. That's when she really started to get into like spiritual work, like deep spiritual work. She started learning about like candle, herbs, cord cuttings. She even ended up meeting another man. But she said when she shook hands with that man, it's like she was shaking hands with the devil himself.
What the fuck was that? Bro!
What's going on around you?
I don't know. I'm frozen. I am frozen.
Did the window
Sean.
break?
Everyone has a number written on their arm, but there's never been number 1. The numbering, as the historians like to call it, happened 52 years ago on July 7th, 2026 at 1:16 a.m. GMT. It wasn't really anything special, you know, everyone just looked down and there was a number now. But quickly after, scientists discovered that the numbers actually followed rules. Each person, no matter what, had a different number, and the largest recorded at the time was 7,574,299,371. Number 2 was whenever someone died, their number instantly disappeared and reappeared on a newborn somewhere in the world. Children were now always born with numbers. Number 3, there was a rare phenomenon called renumbering. So anytime that someone killed someone else, their number disappeared and they kind of like inherited the deceased person's number. Number 4, the numbers cannot be removed. Every method has been tried, trust me, including amputation. And number 5, there has never been a recorded person with the number 1. Since the numbers appeared, the world's class order rearranged. So there was like a literal 1%. Like those that were impoverished but had low numbers were suddenly aristocrats overnight, and billionaires that had numbers above 100,000 were ostracized from their own society. The lower numbers took power in every single country. Like the man that currently has number 2 became the president of the United States at age 24. Discrimination ran rampant, and renumberings among the higher numbers were very commonplace, but the lower numbers never had to worry because they were able to afford top-notch security at all times. The only mystery that remained unsolved, besides why the numbering happened in the first place, was the apparent non-existence of the number 1. A cult called Brotherhood of I, dedicated to the worship of this mythical number 1, grew, and the world eventually was just divided into 2 categories. So those who, thought the mythical number 1 should be protected as a god, and those who saw it as a blessing to kill for the purposes of renumbering. I myself hoped that there would never be a number 1, but of course my hopes were misplaced because number 1 was a little girl named Sophia who was born to my sister. And as soon as she was born, all the personnel in the room, the Brotherhood, basically just kept us on lockdown for 2 months, not letting anyone in or out while they protected Sophia. But even steel boats leak, and she was discovered. So I escaped with my niece at the insistence of my sister, who was still not recovered from childbirth, but I'm pretty sure she's dead now. We were living on our own in the sparsely populated regions of Oregon, but I was just tired of having a living target on my back, Number 1 isn't a blessing, it's a curse. But, I couldn't kill her, I didn't want her number, so I just left her alone. Just 2.5 months old, couldn't even sit up on her own. I hoped an animal would just take care of her, and I hope it wouldn't count as my fault. But I misplaced my hopes again because this morning, the number 1 appeared on my arm.